Hey, what's up, my friends? Thanks for stopping again at Ask a Guitar Pro. This is Jake. We are going to do a demo of a pretty cool pedal today, the EX-7 Expression Factory by Digitech, or the X Series pedal. Basically what this pedal does is it combines a number of expression pedals really into one pedal. Kind of a very convenient feature if you're looking for sort of an all-in-one pedal that has really especially good tone, I guess you could say. It also includes 7 distortion models, which we did in another installment, the Distortion Factory pedals. So we won't cover those today, but we're definitely going to talk about the 7 models that are built in from an expression pedal standpoint. And you really have 7 models. The first is the Dunlop Crybaby wah. Second's the vintage Vox Clyde McCoy wah. Third's the Digitech XP300, the space station swell setting is controlled by this expression pedal. Also has number 4, the Digitech Whammy. 5 is the Unicord Univibe. 6 is the Leslie 147 rotary speaker effect, and then last but not least is the ADA flanger pedal. So we will get right into it. Big thanks to Universal Music in Thornton, Colorado off 104th Avenue. Gear-wise, playing an Ibanez Prestige into a PV Classic 30. So as you can see right now, we are on model number 1, which is of course the Dunlop Crybaby, like we mentioned. Each of the different functions on these, I guess these tip buttons, each, you see Control 1, Control 2, and Control 3, they each serve a function in terms of pedal functionality. Okay, on the Crybaby wah, for example, the first tip controls the high and low frequency, the center of the wah sweep. You'll see what that means. And then the bandwidth is the second control off of that frequency center. And then this 3 tip is actually the output. So again, what you got going on here is basically the high-low center and then how wide the sweep is of that frequency center. So this will be best exhibited played, of course. So right now, of course, we've got it set to the low end, so the center is going to be on more of the low end. See how that gets pretty low. We turn it up this way, and we'll back up the sweep range so it's not so crazy. We'll pull the center on to the higher end there. You notice when I have it in the heel position, it's not as bright because we're moving, obviously, the center of the sweep further and further towards the higher end, or the higher frequency. And then, of course, all the end, it's going to get pretty bright. Okay, so now the overall width, you'll see there's not going to be a very wide sweep if we start it low there. Very little sweep. That is a really cool feature because you can limit amount the sweep you want and change the frequency, so you have ultimate functionality in moving this sweep where you want it. So let's say we want to back it off to here a little bit and have a slight sweep. You can really warm this wah pedal up to your liking. So I'm going to pull this frequency center over to here a little bit. Move that sweep back just a touch. I like this warm setting. Okay, so let's move on to pedal 2. I think that's pretty straightforward. Now we can mess around a little bit more with the Vox Clyde McCoy wah right here, and the same rules apply as far as the control button, so we'll mess around with that. So, as you would expect, the Crybaby's just a smidge brighter than the Vox here. We'll widen up the sweep a little bit there. So if we want to pull back a little of that brightness, just move it back this way. Move the center to a lower setting. So now I have it pretty much in the center, but the sweep is very short here. Almost like a boudoir. Okay, let's move on to pedal 3, which is the Digitech XP100. This is the space station swell. Now, to give you an idea what the control buttons do moving left to right here, you have basically on this pedal, this is the pitch shift amount. It's a pitch shifting pedal. And then the next control is basically, whoops, sorry about that, it's the chorus pedal. So if you have it all the way to the left, this is kind of the chorus slash pitch shift setting. You have it all the way to the left, it's going to give you all chorus and no pitch shift. You move it all the way clockwise, it's going to give you all pitch shift, no chorus. So we'll experiment with that pretty quickly here. So moving on to pedal 3, of course. Oops, sorry. Now the expression pedal here obviously doesn't give you the wah function, but it does give you a volume increase or decrease. Back it off, you have nothing, you hear nothing, but you can slightly bring it in. Okay, so let's try moving some pitch shift settings. Oh, whoops, excuse me, the pitch shift is this button. So that's almost all chorus. the way clockwise, it's going to be all pitch shift. So here's the pitch shift side here, and here's the interval. There you hear the pitch shift. Okay, so why don't we move this back this way now to a different interval, and we'll move it towards the chorus more. Actually do it half and half first. That's really a cool swell. Get all chorus going on. Now this button right here is the minimum swell attack time, so this changes the time it takes for the swell to happen. So you see there it's very short. When we had it wide open, it's taking a long time for the volume to get there. Straight up and down, pretty straightforward. Alright, so next in line is the Digitech whammy pedal, of course. Most of you have heard of this. Functionality on the whammy, basically you've got the same as the space station swell. You've got different intervals pitch shift wise that are controlled by your first control button right here. Then you've basically got kind of the same thing going on here where all the way counterclockwise is all, or I take that back, this is the tone button on the whammy, and then the effect level is control 3 here. So basically mostly just pitch shifting going on here, which I'm sure you will enjoy. We'll keep the tone straight up here, and then the overall level will pull to about here. So let's try the octave setting on this guy. One of my faves. effect there. So it's basically a full step setting right there. Very cool. You know, what do you expect? It's basically the whammy built into this pedal. Cool intervals. Just to give you a general idea, kind of like the XP300, you know, the whammy's got the detune, it's got a major third up, fifth up, octave up, 2 octaves up, etc., etc. So obviously, you know, get a chance to play around with that a little bit. So let's move on to the Unichord Univibe here. Operation's a little more straightforward. Basically, the first control knob here is your preamp distortion, which I'm going to pull down a little bit here. Then we've got the intensity, or I should take that back. The preamp distortion is actually on the Leslie 147 rotary speaker, which is next. But you basically have chorus vibrato, then the intensity right here, and then you have the modulation speed right here. So jump into that really quick. So you pull that back a little bit, really gets warm. That I really dig about this is when you got a nice setting going on, you could pull right out of it really quick by just pushing the heel back on the effect. You pull the, you know, of course, the chorusy Univibe effect down. So it's really cool to make that switch. You know, you're just kind of barely scratching the surface there and just warming that tone up. What I forgot to mention on here too is the chorus vibrato. Down all the way you got the chorus, and then up all the way you have the vibrato. So we'll just give you an idea of the vibrato full on here. And again, the pedal controls the amount. I should say, of the vibrato, or if you have it set on the chorus, way to the left. off, so you just subtly sprinkle it in. Dial in that sweet spot. So anyways, let's move on to the Leslie rotary speaker effect, which is number 6 on here, which is also very cool. So like I mentioned before, the first control knob on here is the preamp distortion. We're going to pull this down. Okay, and then we've got this is the speed button here, or basically it's a minimum speed reach threshold, and then you also have an output level right here. Again, I really like how you can control that with the pedal. Let's pull down this preamp distortion a little bit, clean this up, give you a better feel for this. Very cool. Well, let's hit the last pedal in line here, the ADA flanger, and this is just another cool pedal in its own right. Left to right, you have the basically the delay time is the first control button, which if you basically turn this all the way, there's no effect. So let's pull that guy up. Second button here is the LFO speed. The minimum is basically the effect disabled again. So we'll pull this guy. We got it where we want it, and then external feedback, or the amount of internal feedback, or I guess the amount of internal feedback is right here. So. See there, you got a shorter delay time. So it warms up quite a bit there. craziness with the low frequency oscillator there. So it affects the sweep when you move the pedal. A little bit goes a long way. Alright everyone, so that's the Digitech EX-7 Expression Factory pedal. A lot to digest in a pedal, and I tell you what, the more you play around with the pedal, the cooler it becomes, just knowing that you can tweak all the idiosyncrasies of, especially the the Univibe settings and the XP300 settings on here. It is really cool to be able to have that flexibility right at your foot, and of course having 2 different wah pedals, famous wah pedals in there doesn't hurt either, with the Crybaby and the Vox, of course. So anyways, again, big thanks to Universal Music, and check out more gear reviews and extras online at www.askaguitarpro.com. I'm Jake. We'll catch everyone next time. Thanks.